right, we're going live and we see people already jumping into the room. I like this. That means that you're ready to do something because we came here and we're ready to do something. Gianna, Caroline, I'm glad to have you here today. Are you excited to have a little conversation?
So excited.
Yes,
Thank
so
you for having us
excited.
today, Jimmy. We're super excited to talk to you guys.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you both for being here. So, again, we'll give everybody about another minute and we'll jump in. Just so everyone knows, this is being recorded and it will also be sent out to you a little bit later. So you'll get a chance to check out the resources we're going to talk about. So I see we even have Poland in the house. Shout out to Poland and my man Phil. Sir, it's good to have you here. I think the time there, actually, I'm not sure what time it is in Poland right now, but it looks like we have ourselves an international audience.
We love international.
It's 7 p.m.
Yeah.
All right, it's 1 over here in the U.S.
Oh,
So, again, we'll get started in about a minute. And it's again, I'm excited for this conversation because we all know we need to be doing a lot of this stuff, but it can, just like marketing and sales, where I spend most of my time. It seems like this thing that you're like, oh, it's coming this way, let me run in the other way, and if I avoid it, it won't affect me. Do you guys feel that way, or how do you feel about the topic we're going to talk about around compliance?
Totally. I think business owners are often scared of payroll because it's a big word, and it gets to a point when you as a business owner know you need to start running payroll. It's a big step, and it can be a little scary because there's a lot of compliance and issues that come with it. You're paying someone else, right? You're providing someone else with a check. So we're here to kind of walk you guys through it. If anyone has any questions about it, we know how scary it can be, and it's also very complicated. So we wanted to make it as simple as possible, for the business owner.
Gotcha. And just like Phil in there, let us know where you're chiming in from. And I'm going to go ahead and officially open this up and get this conversation started. So I'll do a little housekeeping at first. So welcome, everyone. My name is Jimmy Newsom. I'm the founder and CEO of Moving Forward Small Business. I'm very happy that you decided to spend the next hour with us. We're going to be talking about compliance clarity, how to minimize risk and maximize efficiency in your business. So to be very clear, to me, and of course, ladies, you can chime in on this, our most valuable time asset is our time. And the busier we get, the more successful we get. We have to manage our time so much better from every perspective. So this is what we call a fireside chat. It's a very intimate conversation at this point between me and ADP, two incredible individuals from ADP. And it's more about strategy than product features. It's really understanding how do we take the stress out of growing our business. Again, I'm heavy marketing and sales, and even I have to I need to reach out to others in other areas, whether it's HR, finance, levels of compliance. It gets very overwhelming, regardless of how structured you might think you are. You need to make sure that you're operating with the latest data. So, of course, we have Carolyn Doran here, Senior Channel Sales at ADP. And then we have Gianna Tiro, who is our District Manager and Small Business Services at ADP. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull this slide down because I think now it's time to really get into the nitty gritty. And one other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that everyone knows at the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you how you can connect with ADP through us because of our partnership. And of course, if you're not a member of Moving Forward Small Business, how you can do that as well. We're here to support small businesses. I'm small business all day, every day. And that's why I'm excited to work with ADP, partner with Jana and Caroline, and really figure out how do we create this entire ecosystem that will be extremely supportive of small businesses. So before we get any deeper, Caroline and Gianna, why don't you give us about 1 minute each about who you are and why, why you're in the position you're in.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. That was great. Thank you again for setting this whole thing up. You truly are a master of your craft, and everyone here is very lucky to be a part of the community that you've built. It's really something special, so thank you. I see Corey in the chat is here tuning in from Jersey. So I'm Gianna Tiro. I sit out of New York City, out of the Manhattan office. And like Jimmy said, I am a district manager here at ADP. So I'm the client-facing sales executive when it comes to onboarding clients to ADP. With that comes payroll, benefits, 401k, health insurance, workers' compensation, all of the things that a business needs to stay compliant in the eyes of the state, federal, and local governments in terms of payroll and tax filings is what I do and what I handle. So kind of a start to finish, I meet with small businesses, we talk through our options, I explain ADP, I answer all their questions, and we get them started on payroll. From there, if they have any further questions about payroll, about their account, about taxes, they come to me and I'm kind of their direct contact and liaison in terms of getting the payroll started and moving forward. So I'm excited to walk through everything. Like I said earlier, I know payroll is a very complicated and scary thing for small business owners. And that's what we're here to kind of minimize. One other thing I want to add is I'm the small business services. So I primarily specialize in 1 to 49 employee companies. I would say from that 1 to 49, about 90% of businesses I sign up are between 1 and 5 employees. So I'm really, really, really well equipped for these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 employee companies that are just starting out. So I'm very excited to talk to you guys today. I'll pass it over to Caroline because she's kind of the bridge between Jimmy and I, and kind of how we even got this talk even in the works. So Caroline, I'll pass it over to you.
The first and main question to kind of set this whole thing off is, when dealing with a lot of, let's just say, solopreneurs, when is the moment you hire your first employee, or is there a benchmark difference? So let's start there, with the basics of basic, and then move into the more complex.
Yeah, I think I want to back up and say that you can run payroll with just yourself being the business owner. And that is very common. More common when you are an S-Corp, which a lot of one owner or one employee, owner-only companies are. They're called S-Corps. So backing up, you don't necessarily have to have an employee that you're paying to run payroll. You can run it for yourself. And if you are an S-Corp, you have to, in the eyes of the government, you have to give yourself a salary in order to be called an S-Corp. So everyone can run payroll, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I will say the second that you hire an employee is the second that you need to be running payroll through a company. There is so much risk that you are placing on yourself and opening yourself and your business that you've worked so hard to grow and to build up to when you start paying someone. That's taxes. There's compliance issues. There's HR issues. There's trainings. Like, small business owners aren't equipped and they don't know these things. So you might think, okay, I'm hiring an employee. Great. I'll just Venmo them. Well, you can get away with that for, so long before you are at risk to be fined by all government agencies. So I would say if you are even remotely thinking about hiring an employee, if that's something that even is trying, you're so busy that you think that you need to take that next step, that is the very second that you need to be consulting with a payroll provider. Because again, you don't want to open yourself to legal risk.
Yeah, and you kind of jumped into a couple of my first questions, so I'm gonna have to refocus those questions. But
sorry.
It's all good, because again, it's painting a big picture, and it shows how everything is really tying together. Now, you mentioned S-Corp. Now, I know a lot of companies that are LLCs. Is there a difference between that when we look at that for that first employee or paying yourself?
Yeah. So LLCs can be S-Corps. Not all S-Corps are LLCs. So it's kind of an intricacy there. I would say consult with a CPA or accountant, because ultimately they're the ones that are going to be providing you with the guidance of whether you should be an S-Corp or maybe you should just be a traditional corporation. That's when I would say fall into your CPA for that advice. Because there's certain numerical, if your business is bringing in X amount of profit, now I'm not a CPA, so I don't know what that number is. They're probably going to recommend, hey, you should maybe apply with the IRS to become an S-Corp and start paying yourself a salary, because they're trying to look out for you as well and keeping you compliant in the eyes of the government. So when that does happen, when you do have that conversation, ultimately, if they do decide you need to, start paying yourself, you need to consult with a payroll provider.
Absolutely. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a series of questions that I will be asking, but please use the chat as well to ask very specific questions that might be extremely related to you. So we're going to be talking about, risk, compliance, and cost as a core challenge. Then we're going to move into people, strategy, and then we're going to end with like scaling and system efficiencies. So keeping with our first kind of like overall topic around core challenges with risk, compliance, and cost, compliance is a massive headache. You mentioned that a bit, whether it's federal, state, local, employees. How should an owner proactively stay ahead of these shifts? What is the costliest compliance risk that they have right now when it comes to employees between 1 and 7?
I would say, Jimmy, it's not their responsibility to know all of the compliance errors of the local, state, and federal. You would in all honesty, waste so much time, valuable time from running your business, trying to keep up with everything that changes daily. It does. Local. I'm in New York. Do you know how many times the local laws change in New York City?
I do not.
Oh my God. It's a lot. It's a lot. So all of that to say, the fact that there are still business owners out there that are trying to keep up, it's a waste of time. In terms of 3 most costly mistakes that I see someone that isn't, using a payroll provider, misclassification of employees.
Okay.
And by that, I mean W-2 versus 1099s. Right. W-2s and 1099s are very, very different in the eyes of the state and the federal government. So whether you're paying someone correctly and classifying them correctly is a huge, huge mistake that I often see with small businesses. Incorrect tax filings. It is impossible, and I'm sure people do it all day, every day, but it is impossible for you as a small business owner to know all of the correct tax withholdings and filings that you need to be doing for yourself and for your employees. It's impossible. People can barely do their personal taxes, their individual taxes, let alone taxes for their business and taxes for their employees. Right. So incorrect tax filings is a big, big compliance issue that we see. And I think the third one, and this is kind of goes overseen, but just poor record keeping.
Right.
The IRS, and especially New York State, loves to hit business owners with, show me the I-9s that you have on file. Show me your, W-2. Show me these random little niche that are important, but business owners don't think that they need to keep these, certain documents on record. So when you do consult a payroll company, especially a payroll company as large as ADP, that is something that we take very seriously, in keeping your records straight to the point, so that when the government does ask for them, because they will, because the government loves to find people, right? That's how they get money, that you're able to say that. So and I think someone in the chat just said it perfectly, you don't know how much it's going to cost you until it's too late. And I think that's a great, great point. And so going back to my point and just tying this all in together is, the second that you're thinking about paying an employee, or the second that you think, hey, maybe I should be paying myself a salary, is the second that you need to be consulting a payroll provider.
Wow. There's so much there. I saw Nikisha. Thank you for showing up, Nikisha. And Nikisha does a lot of work with small businesses. So, I'm sure it seems like she's appreciating this conversation. Now, I typically try to save, kind of tying this back to, like, say, ADP, but I feel at this point I want to bring up a little bit about ADP here because, for most small businesses, ADP seems out of reach.
Yeah.
and I guess, your small business services. So I guess this is a way to make sure that small business knows that that's not the case at all.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think, and where we tend to lose a lot of our business is these up and coming newer payroll companies that target these small businesses because they say, ADP is a giant. ADP's been around for 75 years, but, and this is a statistic from our website, you can look it up, 85% of the business that ADP has and brings in for payroll is a small business, meaning between 1 and 49 employees.
Okay.
Think about that.
Yeah.
How large of a number that is in comparison to all of the other accounts that we have.
Gotcha.
Hi, Caroline.
Caroline.
She's back.
Oh, and we're in real
What?
time. Yes.
And it's crystal clear.
Oh,
Yay!
Yay. I'll just finish up my
Yep.
thought really quick of just, I think it's a common misconception and it's something that at ADP we're trying to I don't want to say reconvene, or we're trying to change the script because that is something that we hear all the time. But that's why my role was created. I can only work with small businesses. And we know how tough running a small business is. So we're really trying to mold our products around helping small business owners.
gotcha. And so
I'll leave
just
it with
Caroline, just so you kind of know what we just did, I just kind of broke script a little bit about what I had planned, and really wanted to introduce, the misconception that ADP is too big for small business.
Yeah, we get
And
down a
that's
lot.
why Jana, her role has, like she said, has been created, and how there needs to be, you need to take a second look. What you're looking at in this case is experience, decades of experience. And
Yes.
so from that standpoint, I want to pivot over to you real quick, because you have a different role, which
I do.
Jana talked about how you were the bridge between myself and her. And this is going to be more for those people either on the live call here or that watch the replay that are actually in a position to support other small businesses. That's where you
Okay.
come in. And again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so you'll clarify.
Yep.
Talk to me about why, that component of even people like me who support small businesses should work with ADP.
Yeah. So, oh gosh, I can go on forever about this one.
Okay.
So
But
this
you
is
got
obviously-
2 minutes.
I know. I gotta condense it. Yeah, honestly, that's a great question. So I like to say that ADP One is a one-stop shop. So the difference between Gianna and I is that she's more client-facing and I'm more partner-facing. So in the partner aspect, what we're able to do is allow partners to kind of extend their reach. So we're allowing our partners to kind of add, or to honestly add another valuable service to what they're already able to offer. And in doing so, we're able to provide them with like ADP is one of the, I wouldn't say one of the most well-renowned.
Yeah, say it. Let it
Yeah,
fly.
one of the best well-renowned
Nodding my head, yes.
payroll processors. So what's cool about it is we're actually allowing our partners to actually have a strong arm in, hey, this is your business. This is where I fully trust ADP. I want you to utilize ADP for your business to really legitimize it and just make sure you are in compliance. But what's great about it too is that through our partnership, we're able to do a couple things. So we're able to do exclusive discounting and rates that only your clientele can take advantage of through your personal link. Because if they went to adp.com, they wouldn't be able to take the same advantages. And it's cool too, because in our partnership division, we specialize with individuals, of course, like yourself, Jimmy, who work with small businesses. Oh yeah. Work with small businesses and can really just make a difference, because at the end of the day, like, we've realized that they go to you because they trust you. If you're going to be sending them to ADP, we want them to trust us as well. So we want to be able to be like a backbone of their business, because as you know, people start their business because they're passionate about the services that they offer, the product that they're able to provide. They're not passionate about the backside of it. They're not passionate about the payroll and the HR.
I don't
because
like
it's
none of that. I'm going to tell you right now.
yeah, no. That's why it's
Sure.
easier for us to handle it. We're a payroll processing company, so might as well outsource it to somebody who can, take some time off your plate. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of that in a nutshell.
Yeah, and And so we have a few things at the end. Like I said, I'm going to share a land. We created a page that's going to have access to all of these resources. We're going to share at the end of the recording, at the end of this session, and then when you get the recording of this as well. So, okay, so now let's pivot to our next overall topic, the people strategy, talent, retention, experience. So you got many small businesses struggling to compete in salary. I mean, there's so many issues with employment right now in general. Strategically, how can a small business owner use, let's say, benefit packages, health insurance, retirement plans, paid vacation, which at this point are probably really big things to people, to attract, and to attract and retain top talent, because we have to treat our top talent well. So whoever wants to jump in first there.
Yeah, I can take it. So honestly, I love this question because a lot of times we see that business owners kind of have a tendency to be a little worried when it comes to adding on benefits, and whether it is retirement or health insurance or workers' comp. But at the end of the day, this is only a value add, because if you look at it, I mean, overall, you started your business because you'd like to. Like, that's something you're passionate about. Whereas now you're having employees to kind of help run the business. You want to keep them happy. You want to keep them in, like, obviously good health and everything. You want to make sure that you are doing the best you can as an employer to keep your employees. And in terms of small businesses, there's a couple different ways that you can compete with the bigger businesses, whether it is adding a retirement plan. I don't know if you guys have heard about the Secure Act 2.0. But especially for smaller businesses, if you don't feel like you can bring on health insurance right now, I'd recommend really looking into starting a retirement plan for a couple of reasons. One, it helps retain top talent because, well, to give you guys an example, I'm 25 years old. 3 years ago, I was coming out of college and I was looking for a job, and I was like, you know what? I really care about my future. I want to be able to save. So the one thing I did look for was if businesses had a 401k account or a 401k plan that we can contribute to. And those that didn't have it, I immediately cut them out, and I was like, nope, not worth it to me. But that's also me coming as an employee saying, this is something that is worth it. And to you as a business owner, what's cool is that it's also a tax savings benefit. So
Okay.
I don't know if anyone's heard about the Secure Act 2.0, but essentially because Social Security is depleting, small business, or the government's really pushing for small businesses to put a plan in place. So if anybody does, for up to 3 years, they'll get up to a 3-year match back. So it essentially pays for the entirety of the plan, as well as a couple, I believe it's up to like either $500 or $1,000 per W-2 employee that takes part. And there's additional tax benefits that they can take advantage of to help offset taxes. So it's more money going back into the business owner's pocket rather than Uncle Sam's. And honestly, especially for small business owners, I'd recommend like going ahead and putting a retirement plan in place, because if anything, it's good to have at least one benefit rather than none. Yes, I know that there's a question in the chat. Yes.
I'll jump in here, Caroline, while you read the chat and just kind of like build off that and bring it to a whole. It's just when you hire an employee, you need to see a return on your investment.
Yes.
And it's kind of odd to think of it that way because they're a person and they're human. But it is truly, you are paying someone, you need to get that investment back. And unfortunately, employees are only going to work as hard as you help them out. That's just human nature. So if anything, providing them with the benefits is going to do more beneficial things than you can even imagine, because they're going to want to work harder for you. That's the bottom line. Also, just to build off of like Caroline's point of her even talking about the Secure Act 2.0, I'm sure all of the people on the call and all the people that are going to listen to this recording have no idea what that even is, or that they could even get tax credits from the government. All that to say is that is ADP's job. Our job is to help see a return on your investment and get you as much money back into your pocket as you can as a business owner. So I would just kind of throw that onto Caroline's thing, onto
Absolutely.
her point. Excuse me.
Yeah, no worries. And again, this is, looking at this entire thing in total context really paints a bigger picture of these pieces are not independent of each other. They have to
all,
coexist. You know. And so Nikisha said this business community needs more of this conversation. Absolutely, which is again why I was excited about doing this type of call instead of doing a presentation, which of course, or I love presentations, I do all the time, but sometimes you just really have to have an open conversation where it has the ability to uncover things that we probably wouldn't do inside of a presentation deck. Poll Affairs says, how does ADP handle federal, state, and local tax filings and payroll tax payments for companies operating in New York City?
I can jump in here because I'm the New
Go
York
for
City.
it.
You're talking to the right people.
Yeah,
You're talking to the right people. Appreciate the question. So wherever your business is registered out of, assuming that it's New York City, ADP has all of the data to know which specific agencies, both local, state, and federally, that you need to send and withhold your money, and what agencies we are going to send those off to, which is important because if you have employees in New York City and employees in North Carolina, those are two different agencies, both state and local, right? So this is kind of a very broad question, but to answer your question, we have the capability to know which agencies we're going to send your money to. We're going to withhold your taxes. We're going to send them to the correct agencies at the end, if it's a quarterly withholding or if it's an annual. And we're going to file everything for you. So in New York, I don't know if you're familiar, but for state unemployment insurance, it's NYS 45 is what it's called. It's a quarterly filing that needs to be done if you're paying an employee in New York and in New York City. ADP handles that for you. So not only do we deduct and withhold that money, we send it off to the agency and we file the correct filing that needs to be done. And then, of course, expand that out to New York State and then, of course, to the government, to the IRS. So kind of a long-winded answer, but just know that ADP has the capabilities based on where you're coded and where your employees are being paid out of to send that money off to the correct agency.
Okay. I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball here because we're talking about people strategy now, and we have a lot of solopreneurs out here, and so the big thing for solopreneurs, until they can afford to hire an actual employee or feel that they're in a position to hire that person, they're using VAs and freelancers. How does that play into this process, and do you handle that side of things with freelancers?
Caroline, do you want to join in, or can I?
You can do it.
I was just going to ask.
For it.
I was going to ask for clarification. You mean that they're? Okay, just explain that a little further.
Sure.
1099?
So they don't have employees yet. They're working with freelancers. So at the end of the day, they typically will Zelle them or do
Right.
things like that. Does that play any role in what you do, or is that, how do we look at that?
Okay, great. I would say immediately my alarm goes off in my head and I'm like, stop, because of that compliance issue. If you're paying someone under the table, you are neglecting the taxes that come along with that. You're just paying them their net pay, right? You're zelling them the $500 for the work that they did that week. You cannot do that. You can, and people do it all the time, but if you are paying someone a dollar amount, you should be recording that, and there should be taxes being paid out on that. Not to say that doesn't happen every day and that business owners don't come to me and that are, that's their process, and we get that, and we're going to do everything moving forward to make it compliant. But the fact of the matter is you're out of compliance and you need to be paying taxes on when you're paying someone.
Gotcha. Caroline?
Yeah, I was actually going to go off of that and say that, so for when it comes to Zelle and or Venmo, whatever it is, I'm so sorry if you see my sister's cat.
He or she?
It's a he.
We have a guest.
He's cool. He's earned his right. Let him show off.
Let me get into this box. Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
He has some things to say.
He's really just getting in there, minding his own business. But sorry, going back to what I was saying was, when it comes to Zelle and Venmo, we just, at the end of the day, want to make sure you guys are in compliance, because compliance is the main factor for ADP. you have to think about your business as this is your business, this is your baby. So you want to be able to go ahead and have everything in place. But in doing so, you're also going to be able to be in compliance. So make sure all the taxes are filed correctly on time and the right amount. And then when it comes to, paying yourself, it also allows you to add on the benefits. It allows you to add on anything. What if you want to do like a bonus or something like that? Obviously, you can do a bonus through just Venmo and Zelle, but the IRS still does require you to do a 1099, depending on how much you are Venmoing or Zelling your employees. So I'd recommend just going ahead and kind of just taking that first step, and let's just be compliant from the start. At the end of the day, this is an investment. This is your business. So I kind of take a more strategic position to say, like, this is your business. This is your baby. We want to make sure that you are in compliant. We want to make sure that the IRS is not going to come after you for whatever rich reason. We want to make sure you're going ahead and properly classifying yourself and your employees, paying yourself correctly. Because at the end of the day, this is an investment. You don't want to have to worry about the fines, the headache, everything that comes with it, because why deal with that then when you can avoid it now? So that was kind of my 2 cents.
I got you. So beyond communicating day-to-day expectations and policies, how does a well-crafted employee handbook serve as a crucial legal defense against potential employment lawsuits? So sticking with this people strategy, who wants to take that?
I can take it.
Okay.
You like? So when it comes to, I love talking about employee handbooks. So when it comes to employee handbooks and just the legal side of it, I highly recommend to have a clear and comprehensive employee handbook made. That way it is a one-stop safeguard for your business, because at the end of the day, you don't want to, you as a business owner want to protect yourself, and that's what this is allowing. What's cool too is actually with ADP, we have a employee handbook builder. So it's essentially like a plug and play. You'll go in and input your business information. It makes it very easy. Once you're done with it, it actually turns it into a live handbook, which is pretty cool. So as things change with the government, state, or just in general, we'll be able to provide different compliance notifications or everything to make sure that you are in compliance, up to date with legislations, and everything that might come out. But it really does add a layer of protection for you as a business owner, because the last thing you want is for an employee to say that they were wrongfully terminated for whatever reason, and then you have a whole lawsuit you have to deal with. This kind of nips that in the bud and adds, again, another layer of protection for you as a business owner, because you're protecting yourself, you're protecting the business, you're protecting your employees. But what's great about it is not only does it protect the business, but it provides a consistent treatment for your employees, because at the end of the day, if you're a business owner, you got to treat everybody the same, unless they are like ADA or compliant or something like that. And it's also up to you to be compliant with the labor laws as well. So it's honestly one of the things that's kind of slept on sometimes, but it's honestly a turning point for you as a business owner if you have it in play.
Super quickly, it's one of the first questions, if not the second or third questions that I ask when I'm speaking to a business owner for the first time, is do you have an employee handbook in place? Because you do not know, these employees might be your best friend today. God forbid tomorrow they want to come back. How many times have you been mad at a boss? All the time. How many times, have you, if people are put in the position, they will come after you. Unfortunately, it's just the truth. So that's why it's so important. Also with ADP, in addition to having the builder, if you're, new business, you don't have an employee handbook, we have that builder build it out for you, walk you through the steps. When you finish it, not only can you send it out, but actually employees will have to acknowledge that they've read the handbook and acknowledge that there is one on file and that they've read and completed the handbook. That way, if they do ever come back to you, you open your ADP app, you said, nope, you acknowledge the handbook on this day at this time. Here you go. So another huge, huge issue that you could have an employee handbook, but someone can say, you never showed it to me. Oh, I didn't. It's in the back office under, the 5 piles of books back here. When you actually have proof that it has been read and acknowledged, that is the protection, and that's what ADP provides with the employee handbook feature.
Well, first I want to point out that I think Caroline might be way too happy about her excitement around employee handbooks. And I'm just playing. I really
Say
love
that's
that.
fine. I just,
Uh,
the headache, we can save a headache. I'm here for it.
yeah, and I'm just
Right.
playing. But I think more importantly, and this is where what I love when you take innovation, technology, and you merge them, there should be. I think we've gotten past the stage of these stale, static documents that
Hmm.
never change with the time. And
Hmm.
you never realize how old it is until you actually realize you need it at that moment. So having
Right.
a system like that to really help a business move through, we do this all the time with the tools we create to make sure to go, look, we understand we're going to ask you to do something you've never done before if you haven't done it. How can we make that easier for you? So the fact that you
Right.
have that employee book, because that would be the next horror feel I'm having, that I'm like, okay, yeah, I know I need it. Where the hell do I
Well, where do
start
you get,
to
yeah,
create this
where do you
book?
get the policies and
Right.
procedures? Where do I
Yeah.
get that? Where do I go? Yes, it
So
simplifies it
Right.
and it's one stop.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
having these documents more as living documents is amazing, and it should be expected in 2025 and moving forward. So this is another nod to you that if you're dealing with a company and their practices seem outdated, it's 2025. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I have a question here, and this is from Polls Affair, and I know this gentleman, and he's out of Poland. So he says, what are what are the most common compliance challenges Caroline and Gianna can seize when EU SMEs, they use SMEs overseas, we use SMB here for everyone wondering what an SME is, small business enterprise, establishes operations in the US. How does ADP assist in overcoming whatever I guess compliance challenges?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would just start in saying that there is so much that not even I can explain how much compliance comes along. Not to scare anyone, but if you have a business overseas and you are opening operations, there are so many different avenues that you can go down in terms of, are you going to establish an EIN in the United States? Are you going to keep your EIN in Poland? EIN, I say, but your business ID in Poland, but have contractors in the United States. Are you going to be paying them as W-2s? What states are they going to be living? Like, there is so much to even open up that question. How ADP comes in, we have they're called globalization partners, and they're a marketplace partner of ours. So their job is to, again, bridge the gap between ADP in America and these, company in Poland, let's say, and how should you be paying those employees? What are the steps to opening a business in the US, or what are the steps to paying a contractor in Germany, or paying a W-2 in the Philippines? Their job is to bridge that gap between us and you. So my first thought is, let's hop on a call with my GP partner, Jennifer, and she'll walk us through the options. And then of course, when it comes to eventually hiring in the States, that's where I come in and help you guys out, and get you set up. So kind of a very long-winded answer, but it's truly, there's that much to it that, it's impossible for you to do it, on your own.
Thank
And
you.
I would
Love it.
say,
Go
I would
ahead,
say too,
Carol.
going off of that, because this is actually a question we get a lot. So we are an international company, so we're all over. I'd actually recommend kind of leaning in with your ADP local rep there, just asking them questions about the local taxes, or I guess you guys don't really have taxes. Well, it depends. I don't know all of them. I kind of only know the US, but going kind of off of what Gianna was saying is, yes, see, exactly. You have ADP is all
Warsaw
over. It's
branch,
great.
yeah.
But with so we do have something called our marketplace. So our marketplace partners, which was what Gianna was talking about with GP. It's great because it allows you to pay your employees, whether you are a US business and want to pay employees overseas. It allows you to still, if you want to pay them as a W-2, you can do so. But it's great because it's already within our platform. So it is a one-stop shop. We just go ahead, email them, get it integrated. And there's 1,000 other integration capabilities that we are able to do for you. But yeah, in terms of just staying in compliance, those challenges, they're as they come. So I would recommend just kind of getting in touch with your ADP or us, and we'll help you get in touch with any ADP rep over there. But yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot that comes in. It comes to operations.
Absolutely. And so again, at the end, if you're already watching the replay, you're already on the page with their contact information. So it should be very easy for anybody to get access to any of us and continue that conversation. There's definitely more questions I have for you than we have time. We're getting close to the end, so let's move into scaling and system efficiency.
Perfect.
And as I said earlier in the as we started this whole session, to me, I think time is the most valuable asset that we as small business owners, or even you don't have to be the owner, you're in leadership or management. You know, for both of you ladies, what's the realistic time saving expectation after implementing, let's say, an automated payroll system? Because again, we're looking to go from manual to automated. And I know you guys do that very well. You know,
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about that time saving aspect and what other benefits come along with building, starting to look at it from a scaling and system efficiency lens.
Yeah, of course. I can take this one if you want, Jonah. So with ADP, I like to say we're a one-stop shop. So ADP is always designing for people. So we are always designing for businesses to grow. We're always trying to help businesses grow. What's great is we're scalable. So whether you have 1 employee to 100,000 employees, we have a system for you. What's great too is, because of our integrations, we have a lot of if you're looking to, let's say, hire new employees or find qualified employees, we partner with ZipRecruiter. So through our partnership with ZipRecruiter, you're saving $200 to $399 by utilizing it through ADP. But it's great too because it is just one system. So you're going from hiring, or you're going from, the posting job descriptions to hiring to onboarding, and you're getting everything in one system. So it's a one-stop shop. Then whenever you start to grow, so say, for example, like childcare owner, not necessarily childcare owners, but home healthcare owners. What's cool about them is they can grow from 5 employees to 50 employees in a month. But what's great about our system in a month, yes. And it's all about how much clientele they have everything just kind of comes into fruition, honestly. It's really cool to see. But yeah, so we're able to move them from our Run platform to our Workforce Now platform or our PEO platform. We have a lot of different platforms that are scalable, and it actually helps you save time as a business owner, because at the end of the day, as Jimmy was saying, time is your most valuable, I was going to say most valuable essence, but that doesn't make sense.
Asset. We'll say asset.
Asset. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. I was like, well,
I'll take essence too.
Yes.
Essence as well.
But it's one of your most valuable assets. So at the end of the day, you as a business owner, you already have so many hats. Delegating. Because at the end of the day, you're saving yourself time. You don't get into your job to do the backside of things. You don't get into your business to start the payroll, to run the payroll. Leave that to us. We got that for you. But I was gonna say, Gianna, if you want to, feel free to jump in, because I know you said you had something. But honestly, I just like to say we're a one-stop shop. So because of that, we have so many different integrative capabilities. Whether you want to use ADP's time clock or not, you don't have to. We have we are integratable. But yeah, I'll pass it to Gianna.
I'll just wrap it up. I think that was all great. I always say payroll should not take you more than 15 minutes to run. Okay. And flat out, it should not take you any longer, especially if you're on ADP. If it is taking you any longer, call me, because it shouldn't. And our products are designed for efficiency. Time is the one thing that you as a business owner cannot buy. You can't get it back. I will say also errors and miscalculations. The amount of time that is going to take you as a business owner to fix and mediate those errors in terms of payroll, taxes, and filings and compliance is money. That is
money and
fleeting
time
away. And money and time bundled together. So all that to say, ADP's products are put in place not only to be scalable for you and your business, but if you aren't scaling and you aren't growing, which is fine, that time is still so valuable, and there are products in place through our system and our capabilities to ensure that you aren't spending and wasting time where it's not needed.
Gotcha. And I have a question. Shout out to Christian here, who shows up a lot on our live calls. Thank you, sir. But before I get to his question, as you guys were talking about this, we're talking about scaling and system efficiency. For me, we're all about growth strategies. And so at this point, I think we have to position this whole conversation around, this is a growth strategy. As Caroline, you said, from 5 to 50 in a month, that's a significant growth strategy. In order for them to go from 5 to 50, there's revenue that had to come in. Yep. There's structure, there's things that had to happen because you made the right choices. So I don't know if I can formulate this into a question, but I'm going to try. How is this a growth strategy?
Yeah. That is actually a very broad question if you think about it.
It is. So you could take a piece of it, or you can really look at the umbrella part of it.
Yes. Yeah. So how is this a growth strategy? Great question. So with ADP, whether you're just starting out, let's for example, say you're one employee just starting out, you don't know what you're doing. Okay, no problem. What we'll do is we actually talk you through everything. So as Gianna's job as a rep is to go ahead and walk you through what we have. So we can talk about the ZipRecruiter. So what does that do? That saves you time and it saves you energy, because you don't have to go through a bunch of different third parties. You can actually utilize what's already in our platform from ZipRecruiter, and we can say, hey, do you want to offer any background checks? Yes, I do. Okay, great. ADP has 5 to 25 free background checks you could take advantage of. And then beyond that point, it's $25. This is a one-stop shop. So everything's within the system, and it kind of lays it out for you. And within your first meeting with ADP, what we do is we do a demo, and we essentially lay it all out for you. We explain it. We go into depth about it. We kind of go into the ins and the outs, what the individual pain points are, and then we kind of turn that and then work with it into our ADP system.
Yep.
But that's kind of just more so on the ADP side. But I know that there's a whole broader side when it comes to scaling. But what's cool too about our partnership side is we're able to do a lot more teaching, so to say. So we're able to not only sell, but provide valuable information. So whether it's, again, Payroll 101 or the importance of correctly classifying yourself, we're also adding value there to help. Of course, it's knowledge at the end of the day. So I like to say, of course, knowledge is power. But who doesn't want to keep learning? Especially as a business owner, I feel like in a business owner's world, everybody's consistently learning and consistently doing, trying to better their business. So why not use a system that could do all of it? It's a one-stop shop.
Sure. Okay. And so you said education, and Nikisha in the chat had said education as well. So we're in agreement there. So let's take a look at, this is probably going to be our last question, because I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. But Christian says, as an employee uses the timesheet to record their work hours, ADP uses PTO as an incentive to accrue over a period of time, which is a good feature to use. So I guess he's making a statement, not necessarily a question.
Yeah.
Is that true. Something that you can add to for anybody else to get clarity around what he's saying here?
I think he's just trying to point out, and thank you, Christian, for hyping us up a little bit there. But I would say timekeeping is a huge time taker, I guess, from a business owner that's doing it manually. Tracking hours, scheduling, takes so much time if you're doing that manually, especially. So what ADP does is we have the ability, as Christian said, to use PTO as an incentive to accrue time accrual over like a PTO plan. So that's just another way I think that he's pointing out how helpful and efficient businesses can be when using, a payroll platform that has all of these features.
Okay. All right. So I'm ditching the remainder of my questions, and we're going to go ahead and kind of close this out. So what I'd like to ask you both is there something that you want to mention that I did not ask you about, or what should be the main takeaway from today's session? So either or even both,
Yeah.
if you want to address them.
Honestly, I would say if you didn't take away anything from this call, the one thing I would recommend is to outsource. You as a business owner, you have so much to do, so many hats you already wear. At the end of the day, like if you want to grow, you have to learn to outsource, because you can't be one person and stuck. It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again. How do you expect things to change if you don't change them? So by allocating out different things or delegating, or outsourcing ADP, of course, that is another way that you can. I mean, that's what I always say to business owners. That's my value add and tip. Say, go ahead, outsource. You have enough going on.
I would say the exact same thing. Automate your business. Automate the things that you do not have time to learn about and implement. It is not your job as a business owner to know the ins and outs of the compliance issues within your state, local, or federal government. It's not. It would be impossible for you to do that. So why would you not automate and put your business in the hands of we're the largest payroll company in the world. We're also been around for the longest. We've been around for 75 years. We pay 1 in 5 Americans. If you really think about those facts,
you have a lot of data.
Why would it?
We have a lot of data.
Yes.
A lot.
And it's in our name. My favorite little fun fact is the IRS buys our data. That is a key. That's how we get profit. Some of our profit is the IRS paying ADP for our data, because we have so much of it. It's in our name, automatic data processing. So all that to say, it's what we do. It's what our company was founded on and built for. So why wouldn't you? Why would you not automate, your processes today? With that, I know ADP also is considered costly and pricey a little bit. So work with us. We're here to work with you. At the end of the day, we know how expensive it is to run a small business, especially in the beginning stages. You need to be saving money, anywhere and everywhere that you can. So come to us. Our job is to not only bring, business to ADP, but to help you with that. So I would just kind of throw that in there, and just don't think of ADP as the best and the most expensive. We certainly are the best, but we will work with you to kind of get you to that price that makes sense for you and for your business. So I'll kind of leave it at that.
And I was going to say, yeah, perfect. You have this up here. If anybody is interested, if you guys want to go ahead and scan the QR code.
Not yet. So let me, because I got that. I got you. So this first QR code and the link I dropped in the chat and the link you see on the screen, if you're on the replay page, we've got all the stuff that we talked about. There might be even a couple other things that we'll upload for ADP. And even like Gianna said, I think it's even worth having a conversation. Don't just assume. You might be surprised, because as we went through this whole process today, we talked about a lot of different things that you might not have realized are under the same roof, that are part of the same system. Helen says, very enlightening. Thank you. Erica Bates is in the house. She said automation is amazing. So you have this link. You'll have, as you can see, you'll be able to connect with everyone here on this page here. But what I do want to say is, earlier as well, Caroline brought up partnerships. And so this here, Lakeisha, you're welcome. As a partner, and meaning moving forward small business, these are the things that I can help provide to you at a discount that you're not going to get if you went straight to ADP. So this will, you can scan this code, or on the replay page, you'll scroll down, you'll see a button you can click, and a few things you're seeing here. Now, if you want to explain this a little bit, Carolyn, I turn it back over to you now, because you got it.
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of going off of, I know that ADP kind of has a route for being expensive, but at the end of the day, we want to work with you because we understand how expensive life is in general. But you can actually take advantage of exclusive discounting rates. And I know you just said that, Jimmy, but it does help offset some of the costs where you wouldn't be able to take advantage of it through adp.com. But and if you are somebody who works with business owners in one way, shape, or form and would like to partner and kind of add ADP service as a value add, let me know. Feel free to scan the code, and then we can set up a call and I can kind of tell you a little bit more about it. but yeah.
Okay. And like I said, if you go here to the replay page, you see that little section down there where that's the same ADP code and that's the button. It was a bit of we're working on a traditional page for you. So I didn't want to put this massive long link in. So I didn't put it on the slide, but it is the button. Okay. And the last thing is, for anybody who may not be a member of Moving Forward Small Business, this is one of the many things we do where we want to have these intimate conversations and give you direct access to people even outside of our community that we have deemed a huge supporter of the small business community. So we're a membership-based community, resources and network. We're all about strategy. We're all day, every day. And, in our community, it's all about empowerment and growth. And so you can check out Moving Forward Small Business, go on membership. You can see testimonials from very, very happy members. We're actually in our lifetime access. You can get lifetime access for one price and you're in for life. This actually goes up after Black Friday. So I'm just telling you. And so you can get in on that. And we're at this point, I'm not going to belabor this anymore. You know what you want to do. I'm glad you're here. Please, when you get the replay, feel free to share this with others. Other small business owners, let them, know about the resources, and keep in contact with us. Connect with us on LinkedIn. That's my favorite. So I guess I should ask you what is the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, I would say for me, I think that QR code has my phone number and my email. Both of those are the best way. Or you can message me on LinkedIn as well. I'm friends with Jimmy. I reposted the promotional picture that you had posted, Jimmy. So either way, I'm pretty accessible. And if you ever can't find my contact information, Jimmy and Caroline both have it as well.
Okay. And Caroline?
Yeah.
I would say the best way to contact me is either same thing. I'm pretty flexible, so I make it work. So if you want to email me, call me. If you call and I don't answer, it's probably because I'm already on a call, but I'll give you a call right back. But I would actually say that the easiest and fastest way would be to use the QR code because it'll go to myself and Gianna. We'll both get an email immediately, and then we'll know to reach out. But I would honestly say that's the best way.
And
Easiest
just so
for
we're
y'all.
clear, yeah, when you go to that right now, that link will take you to a form that you'll need to fill out. So you'll just give them a little bit of information. So with that being said, I believe we're at the top of the hour. We're actually 1 minute over. So I see a lot of thank yous in here. I'm loving that appreciation. If we have one final question, I'll wait for a second. If not, I'm going to give you back the rest of your day and really say thank you for spending your time with us today, and we hope you found value in what we went. This is finance, and for those that have heard me speak and teach and train, this is not my topic. So being able to work with some incredible experts and at incredibly reputable companies is an honor for me. Because at the end of the day, I want to make sure you're getting the best and latest information around these specific topics that we choose to bring and put in front of you. So with that being said, Caroline, Jana, thank you so much. I look forward. Everybody look forward that we us three, we're going to be the dream team. We got a few other things coming in the pipeline still this year into next year. So be on the lookout.
Yeah, not the last you'll see of us, that's for sure.
Okay, so any final words, ladies? If not, I will let you go as well.
Thank you, Jimmy.
so
Appreciate
much.
it. Thank
Thanks,
you, everyone
guys.
on the call.
Yes, and
Take
glad
care.
as you said, yes, there will be a replay. So within the next 24 hours, you will get the replay. The link here that I dropped in the chat is the page the replay will be on. So if you go ahead and click on that link and bookmark it, by tomorrow, the video will be on that page, but you'll get an email letting you know that it is live. Okay. With that being said, we'll see you all at another conversation. We have a saying here at Moving Forward Small Business. It's our Mandalorian. If anybody's familiar with the Mandalorian, it's our Mandalorian way. It says, stay active, stay focused, stay strong. That is the Moving Forward Small Business way. We'll see you again real soon.
Thanks,
Thank
Jimmy.
you. Thanks.
Bye.